the Muslim calls now, whichever hit her. I talk my scars with a sweet one bliss. Someone flicks me a back by the say, oh, it's another one. It's another one, yeah. It's a full strand, yeah. Oh, it's another one. It's another one, yeah.
What's going on, guys? Welcome into another episode of the STAYWEIGHEDIN podcast presented to you by iBoxingHub and also sponsored by our guys at RnR Clothing. You know the score by now. If you want to get yourself 40% off, head over to the website, type in the promo code iBoxingHub24, and the rest is as it is. Cash out, get yourself some goods, and get yourself while supporting the channel. I'm joined by my man Ray. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, thank you. How about yourself? Feeling better now?
Oh, I'm up there. I'm getting there. Look, the only problem is we're in that middle bit of hay fever season, so I'll never be 100%. But look, I'm allergic to the outdoors, so that's why I stay inside and just watch TV. But it is what it is. But talking about the insides and watching TV, today's episode, normally we focus on one particular fight and stuff like that, and we got a huge fight coming up with Canelo and Munguia. But in America, there's a thing called March Madness. For the first time in boxing, I can say we have May Madness. Like, it's a full stack, stellar month, week by week, of amazing boxing fights. And I thought today what we could do is look ahead to some of the headliners, but also some of them little ones that people may not fully tune into and be like, look, this could be a potential fight, or this is what's on the line. So, yeah, let's go straight into it. And like I said,
let's go.
Canelo, Munguia, that's kicking off on the weekend. And look, it's not the fight that a lot of people are looking forward to, but based off what you saw from Munguia against Ryder, there is that little bit potential element of, look, Canelo slowing down, this kid's back. Can he do an upset type of thing? So, yeah, talk to me about Munguia and the likelihood of him causing a potential upset here.
Listen, man, I've been saying this for a while. This ain't the fight we wanted. We wanted Benavidez. All respect to what Canelo has done in the past, but this ain't the fight we wanted. This, ironically, with Canelo saying that Benavidez needed to work to get this fight, he wasn't a worthy opponent, etc., etc. To end on Munguia, who has literally, let me not say padded his record, but has purposely missed other title shots in other divisions, to now be given this. I don't know where he stands, because I think what with fighters like that, what happens sometimes is when you get kept away from good competition for so long, that's the level that you fight to. So then when you get put in high level competition, you get overwhelmed because you're not used to it. However, he is with Freddie Roach now, which is going to be, a new cog in his ignition. So it's going to be interesting to see. I don't know, honestly. I don't know what Munguia is going to turn up. I don't know how he's going to look. Do I believe that Canelo is in the twilight of his career and this is why I took this fight? Absolutely. I understand it. I don't look down on it. My only thing is, if you're going to do this, relinquish the belts. Because right now, I see it as he learned from the Money Mayweather school of promoting, where it's just like, when you're in the twilight of your career, have specialized fighters towards you. Now, the only thing with Mayweather, though, is that he wasn't undisputed, so he didn't hog up all the belts whilst he was doing all these other separate fights. And he would even, funnily enough, he would relinquish the belt. He would fight for a belt. I think, what did he do? He fought Oscar De La Hoya at 154, got the belt, relinquished it. Went to fight Ricky Han at welterweight, got the belt, relinquished it. I think Marquez, if I'm correct, was a catchweight. And then fights after that, it was like he might pick a belt here and there and just relinquish it straight away because he is the guy. And I feel like if Canelo wants to do the whole Money Mayweather thing, you're going to have to relinquish one or two of the belts. You've won. Listen, in all honesty, there's not much value you can bring to the super middleweight division anyway. So I'd say for him, as long as you keep one or two belts, keep the lineal one, there's no point in being undisputed no more at this point. Relinquish some of the belts, man. Like, it's ridiculous. The fact that David Morrell's had to move up because he was, I think, WBA regular champ for a long time. He wasn't given a shot at at the Super Championship for the WBA. Then you had Benavidez, who was interim WBC, still wasn't given a shot. Let go of the belts. Like, let's stop it. It's getting ridiculous now. Sorry, ran over. We were meant to be talking about Munguia, and then this is how we got into it. But we're here now.
I hear it, because it's one of them things where, like, unless Munguia probably has that performance against Ryder, he's not really in the fold. And then, look, he gets a knockout victory against a guy that, okay, when Canelo fought him, it was a showpiece event type of thing. So it was like, nobody really cared about the outcome. It was just more a case of we wanted Canelo out there. And that's where, like, there's an element of intrigue when it comes to it. Just for me, is the fact that you've seen Munguia be able to knock this guy out. So there's power there. And like you said, Canelo's on the twilight of his career. There's not been a stoppage in the last few of his fights as well. I think it might have been Caleb Plant that he got the stoppage, if I'm not wrong.
Wait, is Caleb the one? What did he become undisputed? Was it the Caleb fight or the Joe?
I want to say it was Caleb.
Then that might be the last stoppage then.
Yeah, I want to say that, but I guess someone, when you watch this, just fact check us quickly, because we're going off.
Give me a sec. You carry on and then we'll see.
So that's my thing. Like, there is a level of intrigue with it. I get it. It's not going to be the highlight fight for people outside of the people in the casual space. So I understand it completely. It's like, we don't really care. And then at the same time, it's at 4:00. My only thing with Canelo Alvarez is appreciate what we've got left. Whether you enjoy it, whether just tune in.
No, I'm not letting you get away with it.
Because
wait. Two things. I'm gonna let you finish your point. You are correct in saying Caleb Plant was his last finish. I'm not letting you get away with it, but land your plane first. Land your plane.
My thing is, sometimes there's people that they've done so much that when we needed them to do what they needed to do, they did it. And it's like, let's just appreciate them. Same like Ronaldo in Saudi Arabia. Just appreciate it. If he has a bad fight, it's fine. If he doesn't fight the person you want to fight, just appreciate it. That's just my whole thing behind
that last point. I was agreeing with you. You see, the flight was landing all right, and then that was a rough landing. That last point.
Okay.
Like I said, let go of the belts. Keep the lineal.
Yeah.
Keep the lineal. Keep the WBC, because that's always the nicest looking one. The WBA, IBF, WBO, just let go of them.
No, I'm with you with that. Just like, say, if I put the football analogy in, Messi, go enjoy what you want to do in America.
Florida,
let go of Ballon d'Or. Let go of that. Let the young guy.
No, whoa, no. What? See. That's what I'm saying.
Let go of that, bro.
This Abbas Airlines is shaky right now.
How?
Because the difference is, you see, with Messi at least, just before his last Ballon d'Or, when people try to say it should have gone to Haaland, which is very scary settings, and I'm very scared. I know this ain't a football podcast, but I'm very scared for the world of football that you lot thought the best footballer in the world should have been Haaland. Very, very scary. In that situation, when it came to the pinnacle of the sport, the World Cup final, Messi turned up and put in an all-time performance. The same way, the only equivalent for Canelo to do that is if Canelo went on to beat Benavidez, went to face Benavidez and beat him, that's when, after that is when I say that's the equivalent of going to Florida. But the World Cup would be Benavidez. You didn't face Benavidez. You chose to sidestep Benavidez. You haven't had that in recent time, because I'm not going to discredit what Canelo has done. But you cannot, him not facing Benavidez when he has been the outright person who's beaten all the other top contenders. That is the World Cup at the moment in super middleweight division. And if you don't want to take that fight, like I said, fine. Relinquish some of those belts. But the fact that David Benavidez, because of politics, has to move up. The fact that David Morrell has to move up. I don't think that's right for him to monopolize the division so much, where it's like interim champions that have been waiting don't get their title shot.
It's kind of like the welterweight division at one point where we were like, we need to get this bit sorted with Spence and Crawford, and then you had all these guys that were just holding fire, not being able to, because everything was just wrapped up with one particular fight. So I am not against the idea of him not holding the belts. My only thing is now he's getting this criticism for not fighting Benavidez, but nobody's ever said the fight's never not happening.
Stop this. It is
right now.
Listen, if it quacks like a duck, if it moves like a, I don't understand you. Here's my thing. Before it's the thing of I don't want to face Mexicans, which
I don't get that.
It was a silly thing, but we let him get away with it. Sometimes we have to admit our bias and we let our favorites get away with certain things. First, it was just I don't want to face Mexicans, fair. Then it was just like Benavidez ain't fought no one. To which some people said, you know what, fair enough. So what did Benavidez do? He beat up Andrade, and then he beat up Caleb Plant first, who was a former champion. Then he beat up Andrade, who was also mandatory in the WBA or O, one of them. So the fact that after he beat those two opponents, and there was who else is worthy in that division? Because let's be honest, Munguia's not beating up. Munguia done the same thing as Benavidez, that he moved up a division. Munguia didn't beat no one that's worthy. Munguia didn't beat up no one that's worthy. And the fact that you're trying to make David Benavidez stall all this time is ridiculous. Like, and then you're gonna try to tell me that. Listen, man, like I said, I respect the fact what Canelo's done. I respect that he's in the twilight of his career. I even like the fact of, like, listen, get your money. But do not, the way you're moving, saying he doesn't deserve it and giving all these conditions for him, I said, no. This is where the boxing would have to step their foot down and say, this is a shameful behavior. I've seen, and any way that you try to reword it, it's a duck. Because I know he's going to do the thing of, oh, but after I beat Benavidez, then they're going to say you haven't beaten this guy, which is fair, but at the same time, you're undisputed champion. You're supposed to defend your belt.
This is what I think. I believe Benavidez will happen at 175. I do actually sit here and believe that next year we're going to get that fight personally.
Nasty.
Like I said, because he's coming off injuries and stuff, let him have a year where he honors the contractual stuff.
He just had a year. He faced bloody, who did he face? Charlo, and who did he face before that? Charlo and Ryder.
The thing, you can't say Charlo. You can say Ryder because of the whole Charlo. I heard a lot from certain people, including yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And then then he went into the fight and it was easy money.
No, hear me out. It was easy money because he made it easy money. Because there were people saying 50-50, Charlo can do this.
Charlo was all fooled by good marketing.
That's not a me thing. That's a you thing. Because I went into that thinking that's straightforward for Canelo. Now, win these fights, I understand. It's not what the public will want. But again, just hold back. Again, we're boxing fans because of Turkey. His Excellency, he's spoiling us. He's spoiling us.
No. Turkey's not spoiling us. Do you know what Turkey's doing? Turkey is doing course correction on the whole field. He's saying, listen, enough with the stupid. I don't even call it spoiling, because spoiling for me is the Terence Crawford card, which has got like action packed throughout the whole card. That's spoiling. Spoiling us is not making sure that the fights that needed to be made are made. I don't call that being spoiled, because being spoiled is when you get more than what you should be given, but more than what we asked for. But in terms of like asking, imagine that we are fighting to ask that you face the number one contender as a champion. You can't tell me that is spoiling us because you're making us a fight with a number one contender. That's not spoiling us. Even like with the undisputed fight being made between Usyk and Fury, which we'll talk about, that is not spoiling us. That is, we have waited a long time to see who the best is. The fact that there was so much politics in Fury not making that fight happen. Remember, let's not forget, let's not do revisionist history. They tried to make it 70-30 against someone that's got 3 of the other belts. And Usyk still said, I'll take it. And Fury says, no. You can't tell me that's spoiling us to make that fight happen because all this stupid politics stuff. You can't trick me. All this Canelo stuff, I'm sorry. No.
I'll ask you this then. In terms of the fight itself, before we talk on a few other fights as well, do we need a Canelo star performance? Because I've got this thing, because like you said, we want to see him fight against Benavidez. So if we get a semi-lackluster performance, is the shine of Canelo going to slowly start wearing down on certain people? And I find that disrespectful, by the way, if it does. But I understand it from a casual perspective, because you're getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, getting up and you're watching it. It's like, it's 12 rounds. Just like Devin Haney. I said that Devin Haney was getting to a technical...
What? Nah, I don't like... What? Stop this. Nah, we're not doing this. Leave Devin Haney alone, because the guy chased greatness, but we'll stick on Canelo.
But you get my point. As in, like, does he have to put on some form of a performance for us at this particular position towards the
I even think his last Charlo fight was a good performance in that he showed the dominance and the willingness to bring the fight that he hasn't shown us in a long time. It wasn't a finish. It wasn't even the most entertaining fight, but the fact that he showed the willingness to bring it was brilliant. The only issue with him is that in the twilight of his career, the fighting style that he has is counterintuitive to where he is in his career. He's doing the whole come forward thing, but then it's almost like it's dangerous to do that when you're in the twilight of your career. It takes a toll on your body. So obviously we're tuning in for entertainment. Yes, we want to see who the best is, but since you don't want to fight the best in Benavidez, you better go out there. That's another thing as well. This is going to be, it's harsh, but you put yourself in that position. If you do not want to face Benavidez, then guess what? People are going to be more bloodthirsty and say, now, if you don't want to face Benavidez, you better go out there and put on a show, because this ain't the show that we wanted. So yeah, if you're not going to face Benavidez, put on a brilliant show.
I know there's a lot of other fights I would just glance over and stuff, but I honestly believe Munguia is going to give a lot more trouble than people believe.
I hope so.
It's not going to be a gimme fight. It's not going to be... I know, obviously, I think they'll have a lot of people tune in. It may not be as... You might get people watching the next day, but I do think you're going to get Canelo in trouble. And it's not because Canelo's a bad boxer. It's because, like you mentioned, he's in the twilight of his career. So when that happens, it's very rare that you will consistently be good from fight 1 to fight, in this case, 70. So I genuinely, Munguia will give him trouble. Do I think Munguia wins?
No.
But I do believe it's going to be not a lot more difficult, but more difficult.
I hope he's competitive. Because, I really hope he's competitive for the sake of both of them. For Munguia, because, like I said, Munguia's come from a space of, he looks like Golden Boy's protected him this whole time. So it'll be good if Munguia gets a good look in, just to show people I am the real deal. And then on Canelo's part, if Munguia puts up a good fight, then it won't look like he ducked him. So, if Canelo puts in a good fight, it won't look like he ducked Benavidez for an easy fight. So it'll be a win-win. But however, it does need to be competitive for sure.
I want to just skip a couple of weeks. There's a few fights in between that we'll gloss over as well, coming back to it. But then, like you mentioned, we've got Usyk versus Fury. We're going to do a full breakdown towards closer to the fight itself. But you said it before, like, His Excellency Turkey, he's making the fights that we need to have happen right now. So we had it postponed previously when we were that close to it happening. I was initially there at the Morecambe press conference for Tyson Fury. He looks in shape personally, and I was leaning towards Usyk, but I've been razzle dazzled, and I've got the Tyson Fury injection in me. I'm injected, and I'm all in on Tyson Fury. I'll be honest with you at this point in time.
I understand.
In terms of just the excitement level, but also the magnitude of this particular fight for 2024. I know we're only in May, but are we going to peak too early in May? If that makes sense.
I don't think so. I don't think this fight will be as entertaining as people think it will be.
Hmm.
I think Usyk wins. I feel like Tyson Fury's antics will catch up to him in a way that you can't cheat the sport. And what I mean by that is his lifestyle, to his own admittance, isn't always the best outside of camp. And it's only so long that you can do that. Even that's why he got caught in the Ngannou fight, because he tried to cheat the
No,
sport.
that's serious one bit.
You can't cheat the sport. And that was a very close call in a fight that shouldn't have been a close call. So now he's going into this fight. I truly believe, I don't care what no one says, the fight was delayed because my man was not ready for Usyk. He didn't have enough time to be physically ready the first time. So,
Oh yeah,
however,
December.
sorry?
Are you on about in December or are you on about in February?
February.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough.
Oh no, the December one, I knew that wasn't going to happen. After what happened with Ngannou, I saw that and I said, "There's no way he makes it to December." Because but in February, I think what happened is that you took some time off after the Ngannou fight. Let's get ready for February. February comes and you start to soon realize, rah, I'm still not in the shape I need to be. Obviously, there's rumors that he got dropped by a certain cruiserweight champion, and he was causing havoc. And that said cruiserweight champion then ducked out to his home nation, which I'm not going to bait him up, but if you know, you know. And then I honestly think that, whether people want to say that cut was there before, or whether people want to say that, whatever excuse there is,
this
I
is what I say. When I
mm,
saw Fury, even though it's been a couple of months, you could still see at the top of the eye, like it was a bit bulgy. So you could see that it's there. So that cut, for whatever it was, I understand why that fight was delayed. Because I know there was some people say, it's only a cut. That did look bad.
yeah, it did.
Look,
Do you know what? Maybe it's holy intervention then. Maybe they were, because I know, looking at how Fury was looking at the time. Don't get me wrong. I know that you sent her like footage of how he looked at the press conference, and then you're saying like he's looking trim now.
yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. He must be so thankful that cut happened because he's had more time to take it serious. However, the clock is ticking of how many times you can cheat the system, how many times you can cheat the sport. And I feel like Usyk might be that moment where it's just like, this is your comeuppance for cheating the
This is what
sport.
I was gonna say. It's interesting because you go that this fight may not be as exciting. I remember, I think Frank said knockout, Sugar said knockout, and Tyson said knockout. But I remember they went to John Fury, and like John speaks, and sometimes you're like, he doesn't make any sense. Whatever, he just speaks for the sake of it. But when he was saying what he was like, look, guys, this is going to be a technical battle. There's going to be no knockouts. This is going to go
Yeah.
long. Don't give me this. And then I think what happened, he kind of hinted at it. He goes, it's going to be quite boring. And because of the way John is, there's that sarcasm behind it. But underline that, I do genuinely believe there was a lot of sense and a lot of truth behind it. Like, don't expect this to be all out blood battle and stuff like this. Seems like it's going to be a very technical fight, but I think the magnitude of it is so big that we can put that to one side and just be excited when the first bell goes.
Do you know what? I'm not going to do much of a technical breakdown now, but Fury's key to win wouldn't be using it in an exciting style. The same way when he beat Vladimir all them years ago, it wasn't an exciting style. It was like, what
Lean
do they
on.
call it? Herky jerky. He done what he needed to do to win. And I don't think that, especially after the third Wilder fight, where for me, he fought very stupidly and very risky in a fight that he didn't need to fight like that. His second performance against Wilder was exceptional. That third one was just like, you made that way tougher for yourself than you needed to. And I feel like his dad has been seeing signs of that, where it's just like, stop trying to, I don't know, fight battles in a way that you shouldn't need to fight them. And I feel like now we're gonna see in this fight with Usyk what type of fury comes out of it. And then it'll be interesting because there might be a rematch, so we might not even get AJ to face the winner straight away.
Yeah, AJ, but we can touch on that soon because I think I know where the AJ direction probably will be. The one last fight I want to go in a little bit of detail is one that's taken 2 years to come about. And look, we're finally here. Catrell Taylor 2.
Oh, yes.
Like I said, shout out to the team as well, by the way, for sending me to these events, man, because you get to see it in person and just see like the actual despise for both guys, even though I think it's built with the word hated in terms of it. And Catrell's like, there's no hate here and stuff. But no, these
There's
guys.
no hate on Catrell's side. I'll say that. I don't know. I can't speak on just Taylor. Definitely not on Catrell's side.
I do think like this is one where we're in for a proper fight. Like two guys I don't think like each other from minute one when the bell goes. The atmosphere in Leeds going to be special. Like this is for me as best as it gets when it comes to British boxing in the UK this year.
Sure.
What we're going to get in Saudi. Just quickly for you then, I know it's taken so long, but are you surprised first that the fights eventually got made, and two, that at 140, is it just the ego of Taylor playing into this?
I think this took long to happen because at the time, Just Taylor had more options, even though, which I remember feeling sorry for Catterall at the time because I was just like,
it was undisputed, just a grudge match at this point.
Yeah, because he lost out undisputed, and the fact that Boxer didn't make the rematch at the time was kind of like criminal because I'm just like, Carroll was signed to them at the time. Why wasn't a rematch made then? And obviously, Josh Taylor ends up losing to Teofimo. For me, I feel like Josh Taylor should have been gone up to 147. Like you said, I think it is an ego thing at the fact that he's not gone up to 147 or this fight isn't a catch weight because this puts the ball.
No. Yeah, so you were saying it puts the ball in.
Difficult people were back.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I honestly feel like ego has made Josh Taylor stay a weight class he doesn't need to stay in, especially the fact that with 147 clearing up, Terence Crawford now moving up, this is the best time for Josh Taylor to go up to 147 and get belts because 147 hasn't got as many big names for him to be able to cut the queue. So I believe the ball's in Carroll's court. I think Carroll would do it. I also believe, similar to Fury, there's a lot of people that believe that this fight got delayed because Josh Taylor wasn't in the best space
In terms of cutting and everything.
Going into the original date. So yeah, him having to have the extra time to get ready, which will be interesting because here's the thing as well with Carroll, you don't want to overtrain. I hope his team helped him like taper down properly and get him back ready in time and tuned in for this fight because I remember at the time we done an instant reaction video of saying how much of a disgrace it was that Carroll lost. Didn't he was it 1 or 2 knockdowns that he got on Josh Taylor?
2, I believe.
2 knockdowns and a point deducted, and Taylor still won. And I remember thinking, this has to be one of the nastiest robberies I've ever. Like, at least have some dignity and make it a draw. But to say that Josh Taylor won was like, is nasty. And I remember Carroll just running to the back because it was just like, I'm not entertaining no interview. Like, this guy should be undisputed, point blank period. And then when Teo went and beat Josh Taylor for the belt, it was kind of just like, that should have been Carroll. Catterall should have been lineal champion. And now he's just facing Josh Taylor. But hopefully Josh Taylor still has some high ranking so that if Catterall does beat him, there's belts that whether it's Teofimo's belt or whether it's what's the other guy that they got on Matchroom? Matthias. Matthias. Whether it's Matthias IBF belt, hopefully Carroll finally gets his world title shot again because
I was going to say, because he's got the backing of Eddie Hearn, it's very likely he gets that because Eddie just knows how to do it. And also, he'll say to his fighters, look, you're going to headline this. Just listen to me. Let's get this. Take the opportunity and take it and go forward. I think one thing's potentially exciting is win, lose, or draw. I think, again, I don't know how it works because I think Ryan's in a certain other sphere. But if he moves to 147, Taylor moves to 147, depending on the call-outs and stuff, there is that opportunity that can happen with that. And just glossing over two other fights that are sandwiched in between. One fighter that I think is respected, but still there's something not necessarily missing, but I don't know what it is. I think it's just the American market. That's Inouye's fighting as well. I believe he's fighting. Let me just double check.
Neri. Oh, we are not going to disrespect Inoue like that. Listen.
I'm not. I'm just saying. I think.
No. Sorry. Go on.
I was just going to ask you, like, we're saying about disrespect and stuff. Inoue has done everything, and he's the star in Japan and stuff like that. We hear all the comments. He needs to make it to America to be a star.
He doesn't. The moment, and this is my guy, so no disrespect to him and all love to him, and I can't wait to see his next fight. The moment Stephen Fulton went there and Inoue absolutely murked him to get his belts is the moment you have to squash all that come to America business, because your guy had to step to him on his ground and you saw what Inoue done to him. Stop it. All these Americans thinking that the boxing world revolves around them. Stop it. Stop. The world does not. One, the world don't revolve around you. And two, the boxing world don't revolve around you. And I've said this on other pods as well. The fact that Inoue can be as big as he is in his country, he's probably doing out record-breaking numbers. Why the hell, if he's just as lucrative in Japan, would he come to America, where Americans don't even have? It's different. If Americans had like the talent pool for those divisions, making it big there, they can't even make their own stars at the moment. Outside of Crawford, yeah, who's America's biggest stars? And you can't even say Jerome Boots Ennis, because in all honesty, Jerome Boots Ennis is a potential. He still needs to be built up. Other than Crawford, who's America's stars right now? They're not even building that many stars in boxing no more.
Yeah, there's, like I said, I have the thing. I know some people say to me, "Oh, this guy's a star." No, he's not yet. Like there's
Garcia is not a. He's not the star that they want him to be, because he's not a champion and he's not serious. Gervonta Davis still needs to have that fight to really take him to the next level.
I think what he needs to do is get in the ring with Shakur, and then we can
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, America shoots itself in the foot, no pun intended, so much. But then you're trying to tell the rest of the boxing world that they have to come there. I'm not trying to be funny. The UK's been doing big stadium fights without you. Saudi's been making these big fights without you. You're not the Mecca no more. Get over yourselves. And shout out Inoue for fighting on the weekdays at brilliant times for us.
I was going to say
afternoon. On my birthday. That's the fun. Listen, get one thing straight. If I somehow win the lottery this Wednesday, I will be in Japan for my birthday for that fight.
I was going to say, let's just quickly with Inoue. It's 31 right now. In terms of his ceiling, division-wise and stuff, where do you think he can get up to where it's like, okay, cool? Because we see Manny Pacquiao back in the day. He was, I think, 7-weight division champion. Yeah. With Inoue, where does he get up to when it's like, okay, that's the end point type of thing where he can't move anymore?
I don't think it'll be that much. So I think now he's in, is it Super Bantam or Feather now?
Super Bantam.
Let me double check. He's at Super Bantam now, yeah. He will go up to featherweight at some point. And I think that might be his ceiling, because I think even some people are just like, well, you're already undisputed at this weight class. Why don't you move up? And I think his thing is just more like, he needs to get his body acclimated to this weight class. So I think maybe 2-3 more fights, including this one, then he'll move up again to featherweight. I think featherweight and super featherweight might be where he has to say, "All right, cool, this is it,"
And
because
just
I
one
don't.
last one, I just want to go over.
Go on.
It means a bit just to see the trajectory of both guys going forward, and that's Cambosos versus Loma. Now we've had discussions. I remember you being on the guy's pod earlier when he talking about Haney's record, etc., and stuff like that.
Mhm.
These guys seem to be in, I guess you could say, the best way is a crossroads in their careers at this moment. Like you win,
Yeah.
you move you lose, you kind of get forgotten about. I think probably more for Cambosis than Loma because Loma's got the previous in his career. Like in terms of that particular fight, for me, I think Cambosis is going in there underrated in terms of what he can produce against Lomachenko for me. And I think again, just like I was saying about Munguia against Canelo, I don't think it's a lock that Lomachenko goes and beats Cambosis quite comfortably as well.
Here's the thing with what's his name? Cambosis. He's won. He has won. Whether he wins or
Yeah.
loses, he has won. This is a guy that has done big. This is the guy that was Manny Pacquiao's big sparring partner, like one of his main sparring partners. You got brought in on a mandatory to face Teofimo at a time when everyone thought you was gonna go in there to get steamrolled. Shout out our old co-host Steven, because I think he was one of the few people that said, "Listen, I got a feeling Cambosis might do it." And from when Cambosis became unified champion, he overachieved because in reality, no one expected him to do what he's done. He took full advantage of his situation and he faced Devin Haney in he took two stadium fights in Australia, and I'm sure he gets a lot of the cut from that. And now he's gonna face Loma. Even if he loses that, he has overachieved because he was not the guy that people were expecting to become. Not only did he become unified champion, but commercially in Australia, he done very big things. And I remember seeing clips of his social media. You can just tell that his lifestyle's different. You can just tell that he's driving different whips. That gym that he's training in is looking nice and new. Like he's done it. Even if he loses to Cambosos after this, he has won because he was not supposed to be the guy that he's turned out to be. So kudos to him. I still see Loma winning it. And then whether Top Rank can convince Shakur to stay to face Loma, or if Shakur can finally get that Tank fight, then so be it. But it'll be interesting to see how it goes down.
I hear it. Listen, we're gonna wrap up. It's been a long episode, but like you said, we're gonna be touching across all of May, and then, like I said, there's a couple of fights that we're gonna break down when it gets close to in a lot more detail. But overall, just summarizing the month of May, is it what you could call a boxing fan's dream? We've got big highlight fights, we've got nice little fights in between as well to be able, and then literally we go straight into the 5v5 as well after Catterall Taylor.
Ooh, I think it's a very good month because starting with Canelo, then you got, if you're a UK fan, in a way it's always a treat to watch. 'Cause like I said, afternoon, midday, brilliant. It's on a bank holiday for us as well. Like I said, it's my birthday, so
Oh,
I'm gonna
yes,
start.
it is. I
I'm gonna
forgot.
start my birthday. Yeah, I'm gonna start my birthday day
Oh, that's
watching that fight. So that's class for me. Like I said, if anybody wants to offer to fly me out to Japan to watch that fight, it will be a brilliant birthday present. And then we've got Catterall first Taylor, which you're gonna be at, aren't you?
hoping so. Yes,
Inshallah, you'll be there. We're gonna speak into existence. Where what weekend is that?
that's the
Is that
final.
after?
So that's after Fury versus Usyk,
Okay, let me not skip the line then.
and
Then we
straight
got
after.
Fury versus Usyk, where we finally get to find out who is the best heavyweight. Point blank. No more excuses, no more stupid politics. Who is the best? We're gonna find out. Then we've got the grudge match, big British fight with Casserole versus Taylor. Brilliant. And like you said, straight after following that, you have the next month of June, Bivol first Beterbiev. So, like you've coined it, May Madness is going to be brilliant for boxing fans. Whether you're a casual, whether you're a hardcore, whether you're in between, there's something for everyone this month. So, people, if you keep on love, if you lot like to, say, I remember when boxing was boxing, or boxing as quality as it used to be. This is the month to put your money where your mouth is. Tune into these fights, whether it's from TV viewership or whether it's attending these fights, whether it's in Leeds for Catterall vs Taylor, whether it's tuning into In a Way, whether it's staying up late for Canelo, or whether it's seeing the numbers that Usyk vs Fury does, it's going to be a good month.
I hear that. With that, we are going to wrap up another episode of the Stay Weighed In show. As always, guys, like, share, subscribe, support the channel again by heading over to D-Rock's website and typing in the promo code iBoxingHub 24. Get yourself 40% off. Subscribe. All the other guys doing the regular weekly content as well. So you got shows from everybody and anybody. So whatever you fancy, just go ahead. You got the best of everything. Really appreciate you for jumping on as always. Until next time, stay waiting.